Natsuki Mahiru. And from the looks of it, Mahiru has called him to the rooftop for what is probably going to be a classic scene of confession. She's a bit flustered at first, but Itsuki insists that she can tell him many things since they have been friends for so very long. He probably regretted that the moment he said it because it isn't a confession, it's a conception!
Ease up, man. Damn.
Before she can reveal who the father is, a magic circle appears on top of them and pulls them inside. They end up inside a strange, dark room, but neither of them is concerned about where they are, as she is too busy telling them who the father is. And oh boy, is he shocked to hear that there is no father. Hold on. As it turns out, Mahiru hasn't had sex yet, but somehow managed to get pregnant. Like,
what the fuck?
Talks about how she was glad to share the secret with him, but the friendly moment doesn't last long as a demon manifests from inside Mahiru. In the heat of the moment, Itsuki, who has to defend himself at all costs, pulls out a sword from his his hands. They make it out and find themselves in a new world with some strange mark on their body. Narcissus approaches them and leads them to a castle Gravania, where he wants the two to meet the ruler of the Gravania kingdom. King Shangri-La is rather hospitable to them, seemingly glad about having foreign visitor. He gets straight to the point. Gravania is in danger and they need the help of these high school kids to save it.
Okay.
According to him, the two of them are visitors, specific people who fall from the sky every 10 years and bring special powers to them. Kingdom doesn't really care for the consent of the visitors. They would have if they took the time to speak, but Mahiru felt tired and got taken away to a doctor. As for Itsuki, he's tied up on a bed and the ambiance of the room suggests some real conception is about to actually take place. The court doctor Rione is there to take a good look at his body and see if he is really fit to defend the kingdom. She explains some intricate details about monsters and powers and whatnot.
Oh shit, not good.
The only bit of useful information she gives is that he's not alone in this quest to save the kingdom. The priestesses of the 12 constellations have also been chosen to aid him. Among them is Mahiru, the priestess of Virgo. Her power is to get knocked up without having sex.
Oh my god.
Still, expelling that much impurity isn't enough, and they talk some mumbo jumbo. But long story short, all 12 priestesses are supposed to have a star child with Itsuki. That's just a fancy term for saying they gotta have sex. Rione and Mana want to test out the very first conception, as they suggest Itsuki start with Mahiru right then and there.
Are you out of your mind?
I knew this was coming sooner or later. Why else would they have him tied to a rope? Since the situation has presented itself, Mahiru gets honest about wanting to be deflowered courtesy of Itsuki for a very long time. Wait, holy frick, they actually did it! How was there no interruption? There's always some interruption. Oh, kid literally popped into existence thanks to the emotions of Itsuki and Mahiru surpassing a certain threshold. Not only is the child born, but he also has clothes on somehow with the name of Virgo, which he gave to himself. Itsuki and Mahiru won't be able to spend time with their child, as star children are warriors born with a mission, destined to complete it as soon as they're born. After Mahiru, Itsuki is finally introduced to all the other maidens who look like they're here for a cosplay event. They are all based on the 12 constellations, so I'm taking a guess that 11 more star children are supposed to take birth.
Oh shit.
Mana is constantly reminding Itsuki that while he may be there to save the world and all, he should take every chance he gets to woo those maidens. Itsuki, for one, has not disagreed once with the bear's proposal. The main agenda here seems to be the birth of a ton of star children as quickly as possible. It may have been easy with Mahiru because she downright wanted it inside her, but things aren't the same with the rest of the girls. Among the maidens, Ruka is the only one who seems to have some sort of cold distance from Itsuki. At least she did for like 5 minutes, but here they are plucking flowers together now, getting closer and closer by the passing second, immediately invalidating what I literally just said. Ruka then tells him that she's an Esper and he has to let her read his mind to know he didn't have any dirty intentions regarding her. He does let her read his mind, but she cannot do so because he isn't from Granvalia. Good for her. She need not know what he had been keeping inside of his head all this time. Itsuki takes some time to visit the foster house where his son had been training rigorously. There he meets Aleph, who takes care of and trains all the star children. She is definitely a good source of care and nutrition for them. She tells him that while Virgo is good and all, he isn't enough to fight the monsters at the labyrinth, so he has to produce more kids. Itsuki and then visits Ruka with all the dirty intentions, asking her to be ready for motherhood. I might be trying to hype up the scene here, but what's the point? They aren't even gonna do anything. Boom, there's the kid.
That's gross, man.
With the ritual done and dusted, he gets the blessing of the 12 Star Wards, and with this, the group heads towards the labyrinth, ready to cleanse the impurities once and for all. The 2 star children are also there, and Ruka's child looks like he worked in a circus in his past past life. Inside the labyrinth, they encounter their first monster who destroys Virgo and Cancer in like 3 seconds. So much for being star children. The adventure continues without them, and Itsuki somehow manages to find his way out. Virgo and Cancer are alive and well, as the star children get protected from danger automatically. They head back inside for round 2, but get their butts handed to them yet again. The incompetence is real, and Itsuki starts to worry that he won't be able to defeat the impurities at all.
He needs some milk.
They go to Narcissus for some advice, and according to some ancient texts, the only way for him to have a double love ritual is when he acts like he's about to have sex with one of the love maidens, but literally does nothing. Mana is there to clarify still. Well, he actually called it a threesome. Star children born from double rituals are said to have more remarkable abilities in comparison to the ones that are born normally. This is a speculation though, since a visitor capable of making love with 2 maidens is something they've never seen before. He then takes a walk with Maharu and they end up near a hot springs. She's rather forward, suggesting to him that they should go in together. There really is no specific scene for me to talk about here. They don't get naughty, and the most significant thing that happens is Maharu losing her keychain and Itsuki finding it. There's one moment where they come close to kissing each other, and even that is interrupted by Mana.
Motherfucker!
Mana, the same bear that wants to see everyone do it with everyone else. They then discuss the possibilities of a double love ritual with Rione, who probably thought of it making a triple by adding herself, but no. She has to tell him that he could be diving into unknown waters. I knew it. She proposes to be one of his partners while he chooses another maiden, aiming to experiment with the double love ritual after all. The doctor wants it, and she wants it bad. He isn't sure about whom to choose, and Maharu is not an option because she's mad for some reason. And so here he is with Farun, trying to woo her by following a flirting guide of all things. What's shocking is that it's actually working. With this, he manages to have a successful love ritual session with the 2 ladies. As a result of this, Capri and Scorpi are the new starborn children. I must say though, these star children don't look adorable at all. What is this random character design? It's like the artist drew scribbles and decided to make it the final product. Next on the menu is Airi, who is a nun figure to the church, so Itsuki better tread lightly here. Saving the world sounds fun and all, but you don't want to be caught sinning firsthand. Yuzuha is one of the maidens who isn't quite sure why she got chosen as one. And the way she says it looks like she didn't want to really be one either. Imagine Itsuki is the reason she is so turned off by the idea. Despite all this, he goes to use his place to bring her some lunch. She doesn't even eat it, but still the sentiment's there at least. By not eating it, I mean she literally uses the bread on a canvas, and she called him Oni-chan.
What the fuck?
They talk a little about how she likes to avoid going outside and likes painting indoors with the bread of all things. She likes to sleep in a coffin because it feels cozy. Yeah, Itsuki needs to go back to the church right about now. Seeing how much she was cooped up in her room, he takes her out for some fresh air finally. Even when she is outside, she makes sure to take her coffin with her. I mean, when you gotta go, you gotta go, right?
Shut the fuck up.
So the coffin is for her to carry her painting materials. Certainly worthy of her title as a maiden. Since she didn't have a dream last night, she is unable to paint, which makes me wonder why she would bother to bring the paint in the first place. That's a lot to carry for no reason.
Women.
Things were going pretty fine with the 2 until people saw them and got freaked out, rightfully so. This was enough to set Yuzuha off, who starts to feel guilty about making Itsuki look like a weirdo. As such, he is back at the church thinking about how he could set things straight. ID tells him that Yuzuha has a specific illness where her life gets shorter every time she sleeps. What? He's convinced that every time she sleeps, the coffin might be the perfect spot for her, because the chances of her not waking up are actually pretty high. Somehow he then gets the idea to build her another coffin to cheer her up, and it works! Her face lightens up at the sight of someone giving her a coffin of all things. Of course, everything was leading to them having a love ritual at the end. I mean, why not? Which is exactly why she should not be calling him Oni-chan.
Ease up, man. Damn.
It's a day off from everyone as they prepare a minivan, and from what Mana says, I'm guessing this is gonna be a beach episode.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is happy about spending some time off, but some of that happiness is taken away by the presence of Seiya, the handsome creep of the academy. And here we are at the beach. Itsuki finds himself involved with Lyris a lot, since she is the one with a lot of opinions on Seiya. Her fortune-telling guides these opinions where most of the time he is a narcissist, but she still believes he isn't a bad person. So Mana has already changed parties and aligned himself with Seiya. That dirty bear is a true emissary of kink. Lyris is unable to tell him about his fortune, after which Lyris switches back and spills the beans about his death to him. I was wrong about Mana though. He acted like he was getting cozy with Seiya and used the chance to give him the massage of a lifetime. Lyris proposes goes to look at his fortune once again, as death is a pretty obvious thing to say when you are a fortune teller, since it is bound to happen eventually. Next time she sees his fortune, the two of them are in bed ready to go at it. And that was it for the beach episode. They literally had like a $10 budget planned out for the scenes because I sure saw nothing happen. Saya finds himself on the run from someone, most probably Itsuki, because he has a tendency to stalk maidens. He attempts to hide in the church under the care of Airi. She agrees, and when Itsuki finds them, things seem a little more sus than they really had to be. He's confused about why Airi had a collection of weapons and why she was having Saya sweating, trying out all of them. In fact, she is so impressed by the way he handles the weapon that she finally agrees to have his kid. One way or another, he's gonna take the lady to bed. Itsuki cannot be stopped. With Airi down for the count, one of the final mermaids yet to be deflowered is Colette. And Colette is a tricky one since she thinks children come from cabbage fields. She's not actually incorrect about thinking of a vagina like a field. Was that a stretch? Be honest with me, was that a stretch? Look, we've come to know each other a lot. You know, I feel like you and me, we have this really special bond. This bond, we're nakamas, right? A bond that can never be broken. You can be honest with me. You can tell me if I'm going too far, okay? I want to know. Please, help me.
Help me! Help me!
Colette works in a bakery, and Itsuki decides to start his quest for seduction by helping her around with some simple chores. Innocent she may be, but Colette is not stupid, as she directly gets to the point of asking him if he was going along with all this just so he could have a star child with her. The look of agitation on his face is quite visible after this. Must have really stung him, being figured out by someone like Colette. He disagrees, of course, assuring her that he was helping her out of his genuine desire to help her. He is there throughout the day, helping her bake, knead, and do everything in between, with Mana constantly whispering dirty thoughts into his mind. The baking is done and dusted, but Colette seems sad as the flow of customers has been disrupted ever since the retirement of her grandfather. The only ones to enter the bakery and actually buy something are other maidens or star children, so you could say that the business is thriving in nepotism. Still, seeing them put a smile on Colette's face is enough for her to be motivated to bake for the rest of the day. They are on a roll for some time selling products on their own, but after a while, two guys from the Lunch Packs bakery start to threaten her to hand over the shop to them. They start to be forceful with her, asking her to quit baking immediately, which might have sounded scary if they were able to keep that composure and not get chased off by the bizarre star children. It wasn't all in vain though, as they now realize the reason why they haven't had customers in a while. Lunch Packs have been stealing them all with their superior service and bigger investment. However, Itsuki is in luck since Lunch Pack is a company owned by the family of Femeruna, the Maiden of Leo. Upon Mana's guidance, he hurries to talk with Femeruna, who doesn't waste a single second to let him know that she can't do anything about it because she just can't. Itsuki's idea after this is even more illogical as he accidentally kidnaps Femeruna. I say accidentally because she tripped as he let her hand go, lost her consciousness, and instead of taking her to a hospital, Itsuki decides to lock her inside a room and wear a creepy mask while approaching her. And that's where we're gonna leave it off today. I'm kidding. Psych! He has her locked inside the bakery where Femeruna has to eat the bread Colette made because there's nothing else to eat, and it's kind of the only choice you have when a guy in a mask comes with a basket full of those breads. Femeruna is insistent on not eating even a single piece of that bread since she doesn't know who or what made it, and Itsuki's insistence makes it even more sus for her. Days pass, and Femeruna is now very close to starvation. Is she gonna eat anything? No! Seeing this, Itsuki reveals his face and asks her to eat. Begs her, even. I can't believe he kidnapped her and then talked as if he was doing her a favor by making her starve. Femeruna, who was smart enough to think that bread was poisonous, is not smart enough to escape his trap and falls in love with him. Why? Because she feels as if he's very concerned about her? Let me spell this out for you. Hold on. He kidnapped you! She eats the bread, starts to sweat for some reason, and even allows him to wash her whole body. Okay, I guess that was the reason. Of course, everything happened for one reason, and that reason is some beastly lovemaking in a cabbage patch! Woo! So you're gonna tell me if I'm being too much, right? Good. Anyways, now that's where we're gonna leave it off today. So if y'all enjoyed the recap, be sure to let us know by hitting the like button and subscribe.